Hi, good morning. It's Ms. Wicks. We are reading with group number 1 in our Across the Meadow book, book 2C. And we are going to be reading Rascal, Raccoon, and the Risky Ripple on page 71. Our words to watch for are delicious, attention, straight, wrestled, wriggled, rascal, and rummaging. And let's look at that word rascal. Rascal means known for playful misbehavior, and rummaging means to search by overturning or moving things around. Our story is about self-control and contentment. Rascal Raccoon loved to eat and explore, but one day as he crouched close to the water's edge, he saw something that caught his eye. Let's read to find out what Rascal saw. So Rascal Raccoon and the Risky Ripple, adapted from Arthur Scott Bailey. In the valley by Beaver Creek, Rascal lived with his mother, father, brother, and 2 sisters. Everyone in Rascal's family looked very much alike. The tail of each one of them had 6 black rings around it, and each of them had a dark brown patch of fur across the face like a mask. Though they all looked alike, you still would have known who was who. Rascal Raccoon was known for the way he behaved, like a rascal. Rascal's brother was named Trusty, because Mr. and Mrs. Raccoon could always count on him. Sweetie, one of Rascal's sisters, was known for the kind way she treated her family, and you can probably guess why Rascal's youngest sister's name was Cutie. The Raccoon family lived happily together in the hollow branch of an old tree. Every evening in the big branch, Mrs. Raccoon prepared a delicious meal for her children, and Rascal Raccoon loved to eat it. He loved eating more than anything else. Rascal was forever rummaging around for something to eat. No matter how big a dinner Mrs. Raccoon set before her family, as soon as Rascal had finished eating his share, he would wipe his mouth carefully, then race off to rummage for something more to eat. Sometimes he went to the edge of Beaver Creek and tried to catch fish by hooking them out of the water with his sharp claws. Rascal ate almost anything he could get his paws on: nuts, cherries, red raspberries, bugs, fish, frogs, and even the farmer's corn. Today was no different. After Rascal Raccoon was fed, he went rummaging along the edge of Beaver Creek. He stopped now and then to crouch close to the water's edge in the hope of catching a fish. As he lay quiet, still among the rocks, his eyes searched the clear water. Rascal saw a ripple in the water that caught his attention. Something bright red had landed on the water right beside him. It was a bug, or a big fancy fly, Rascal thought. Bugs were his favorite snack. The bright thing had barely settled on the water when Rascal snatched it. When he put it into his mouth, the strangest thing happened. Rascal Raccoon felt himself being pulled right over into the water head first with a big splash. Rascal never knew a bug or a fly to be as strong as that. Something pricked his cheek, and Rascal thought the bright thing had stung him. He tried to take it out of his mouth, and he was surprised again. Whatever the thing was, it seemed to be stuck inside his mouth. At the same time, Rascal was being dragged along through the water. He was frightened when he saw a slender line stretching from his mouth straight across the creek. As he followed the line up and across the creek, Rascal saw a red-haired, freckled creature standing on 2 legs at the other end. The creature held a big stick and was pulling Rascal toward himself. "You little rascal! Why did you bite my line like that?" the red-haired, freckled creature shouted. This frightened Rascal so much that he jumped back into the water and tried to swim away. His mouth stung, but he plunged and pulled just the same and jerked his head and rustled and wriggled and twisted. Just as Rascal had almost given up hope of getting free, the big bug or fancy fly or whatever it was flew out of his mouth and took the line with it. Rascal raced across the creek and into the bushes. The red-haired creature laughed as he watched, but Rascal Raccoon didn't laugh at all. His mouth was too sore, and he was too frightened. He decided that he would use a little more self-control before he sank his teeth into his next meal. All right, let's look at these questions on page 76. Think about it. Number 1, what problem did Rascal have? Number 2, how did Rascal get his name? And number 3, what caused Rascal to have more self-control? And here at the bottom we can read Proverbs 20:11. Even a child is known by his doings, whether his work be pure and whether it be right. I know that in class we've talked many times about doing the right thing. We have our think poster hanging up. Is it helpful? Is it true? Is it inspiring? Is it necessary? Is it kind? Are we being kind to people? So think, truth, helpful, inspiring, necessary, kind. Think about all those things. Think about what Rascal was doing. And just think about being kind to others. Okay? Thank you.